Hi, everybody. My name is Kerrie Bodendorf, and I'm here with another edition of the Melt Insider. Today, I am speaking with Eileen Kopsaftis. Hi, Eileen. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Good to have you here. And Eileen, tell us where you live and how you first learned about the Melt method.
Okay, I live in upstate New York, kind of close to the Vermont and Massachusetts borders where all those three states hit. And my story of how I first learned about Melt is probably different than everybody else because I was partnered with somebody who graduated from high school with Sue Hitzman.
Oh, okay.
And so his name is Roger, and the three of us met for lunch to talk about some things. And that's when Sue started, obviously very excited, telling me about Melt. And this was, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. It was quite a while ago. And so I was fascinated, of course, because when she learned I was a physical therapist, she was like, oh, you got to know about Melt. And so I hunted down a local person who had trained in the Melt. His name is Cardin Rubin. I think he is still teaching Melt. And he graciously met with me. He's a massage therapist, a licensed massage therapist. And so he sort of introduced me to Melt. He had me try some roller stuff, and I got a roller. And I was working in a clinic at the time where the owner was looking for some kind of a niche to create because she was buying the clinic. I said, you need to check out this Melt with me. So I talked her into going to the training with me to New York City, Manhattan, and we did the hand and foot. It was in December. I don't recommend your first time ever going to New York City being in New York City in December, because it's like this walking down the streets, but I survived.
Yeah.
And then I tried it with my patients. It was phenomenal. I loved the results. We actually had a rheumatologist writing Melt on the prescription when she was yeah, because the patients were coming back raving about Melt, right, to their doctors. So anyhow, we ended up going back, and this was a long time ago when there were no levels of training. It was all one shot. So it was 2 5-day sessions. We did the one in March, the next one in April. And I was hooked. And the best part is I teased Sue one time when we were all waiting in line at the restroom. I said, you know, this was worth twice what I paid for it just because it fixed me. Right. And she's laughing because I had a shoulder issue, and I'm trained in manual work. I've been, fixing people for decades, but you can't fix yourself, right? You can't like take off your hands. And so and I couldn't find anybody local who could help me and fix it. And it was years of this heavy bag in and out of my car. I'll make this story really quick. I did home care for like 10 years, and I had this very heavy bag. And I had it in the front seat, and I would have to, yank it out and put it in, yank it in. And 10 years of that, I think my shoulder wasn't happy.
Talk about repetitive stress.
Right. And there was no good self-care going on in that shoulder. So I was having trouble pushing open a door without pain. I was like starting to use my other arm and everything. And when we learned the arm circles, I could only go to about here, and then I'd have to grab my arm and pull it back down. I think it was the second 5-day, or it might have been the first 5-day. I don't even remember, but it was like day 2 or 3, experienced that horrible pain. And then by the end of the 5 days, I could do full arm circles with no pain. And it was jaw dropping. It was miraculous. So I was hooked, for myself. And then of course, anybody who would be open to learning it, I'm there.
Yeah. And we always say it's such a great complement to physical therapy, to chiropractic, to acupuncture, anything you're currently doing to create wellness in your body. Melt is such a great complement to it.
Yes, yes. And I love teaching people how to fish themselves, or, how to fix themselves, right? Like teach a person to fish, right? I want people to like not need me. I want them, as long as they're above ground, they can fix their issues. It's great to empower people.
I know. And it's not a threat. It's like, we're not going to tell people to stop getting chiropractic care or going to a PT or a massage therapist. But I've heard from so many people who are body workers that actually came to a Melt training to learn it for themselves because a client of theirs started melting, and they actually felt their clients' bodies changing. They could feel the difference in their tissue. And that just blows me away. I love it.
And the people I've taught, I've been, long before the global shutdown, I've been doing video consultations with people all over the world for like years. And Melt is a great tool for that, right? As well as other things that I teach. And I've had a lot of people that I've worked with who their personal trainers or whoever they're involved with, they tell them about melt and that person has sought out more information. Yeah.
Wonderful. So Eileen, do you offer melt classes or private sessions?
Yes, I do. I do mostly one-on-one, but I do classes throughout the year. I actually, when I was going there live, the local community college, I was doing melt there all the time as community education classes, and people just love it. I had people literally start crying because they, lay on the floor to do the rest assess and then do a basic core rebalance introduction on the roller and then get back on the floor and literally start crying because it was the first time in years they could lay on their back without pain.
Right.
And so it's just, you get chills. But anyhow, so I still teach through the community college, but I do it online.
Oh, great.
So every semester I'm doing 1 or 2 melt classes, and in the summer I'll do like a single class. And then I do them on my own through my own business, but mostly one-on-one consistently, because I love to be able to make sure that they're doing the techniques that are best for their specific issues, in addition to other things, because, melt is amazing, but there are other things we need to be doing, right? Like you can't live at McDonald's and expect to be healthy, right? So there are other things, but it's a huge part of what I do. Yeah, I love it.
Well, thank you, Eileen. We're going to put all of Eileen's contact information in the description of this YouTube video. And if you would like to tell me your melt story, I'll also put my contact information there as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you for having me. And I hope that these videos really help people to check out. If they're interested, it's the best thing they can do.
Yes, me too. Watch all the videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch all the videos. They're so inspiring. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Happy melting.